like a machine. In the game, we're clean, we're so keen. Hours in the sky, chasing that dream. That dream, obelisk tide, we rock the scene. Capturing shrines while taking what's unseen. On the ark, we're kings, we're supreme. Never seen the limits in we ever queen.
Time grows very interesting. We will go claim the crown.
We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down a crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more blessings sneaking around. Now watch the ice still. We're fighting down. Run and charge and calculate the power we bring. Running like a band, they're here to battle sing. We're blazing through the ranks on the move and swing. With might in our hearts to take everything. Everything pillars rise as we claim a throne. For victory, we've already grown. On the field we fight, we overthrow the known. Nothing stop us, ain't no way we stand alone.
Time grows very interesting. We will go claim the crown.
We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down a crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more blessings sneaking around. Now watch the ice still. We're fighting death.
From the desert outside to the desert outpost, we crave more. With every sweet stride, we will arrive. We're opening the door. So here's to the grind.
We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down a crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more blessings sneaking around. Now watch the ice still. We're fighting death. Yeah, we're fighting death. We're fighting death.
What is going on, Governors? Chiscool here, and today I'm joined by Dirty Dan to cast the Rise of Kingdoms Champions Global Grand Prix in 2025. And we've got two super hype matchups to cast today. Dirty Dan, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, Chiz. Glad to be casting alongside you today.
You know it. I am super hyped to cast these two matches with you. Starting in the upper bracket, we're going to be casting 60 GT versus 62 M1. This should be a pretty exciting match, but people are estimating this is kind of like a favorite versus underdog situation. Like if you put your Oryx onto 62 M1 and they win, you are going to be swimming in those Oryx like Scrooge McDuck in his vault. So let's talk a little bit about this matchup. But first, what are your impressions about GT versus 62 M1? Is there anything you think in this upcoming match we should expect to see? Is it going to be close? Is there some play we should look for? What are your overall thoughts?
Well, I think considering that 60 GT took down the favorites and the winners from last year's Grand Prix in GY16, that they are definitely, putting their name on this 2025 Grand Prix. And then also the fact that 62 M1 took out a team in 93T who is no slouch. They've won, Osiris League after Osiris League, made a deep run in last year's Grand Prix as well. So, maybe you look at it as 62 M1 is maybe that new torchbearer for the Chinese servers. But I'm just really excited that we have an international versus a Chinese showdown, kind of both in both of these brackets here, to see who's going to advance in the upper tier brackets. I do expect it to just be a really good, clean match today.
A good, clean match where we've got 62 M1 from server 62 in the Chinese servers, 60 GT from 1960 in the international servers. And to give a little context into their backgrounds here, 62 M1 was the runner-up for the Realm of Anubis, and 60 GT was the champion for the Realm of Horus. Technically, it was 60 MX this go-round. And as far as their best performance, 62 M1 was the runner-up in the Realm of Anubis, and 60 GT He's been the realm champion, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times. Technically, not 5 times, but 6 times. So 62M1 has a challenge ahead of them. There's no doubt about it. In the Grand Prix, the best performance from GT was in 2023 as a runner-up. And 62M1 has not had a Grand Prix performance, as far as I can tell, in the past. Now, with that said, in the past, we've kind of looked to the skills to see, are they doing the same thing or are they doing anything different? And I noticed that 62M1 used a little bit of stocking up and GT relied entirely on energetic. So, Dirty Dan, what are your thoughts on the skills we're going to see used in this matchup?
I think it's a common theme for these Chinese server teams to use stocking up. I believe last week in 60GT's match against GY16, they also used stocking up. And then even as I'm looking down to it's just going to be really interesting to see. We're almost getting like a flip in play styles here where of course the Chinese server teams are still kind of playing on, that kind of farm meta a little bit, but also this like paradigm shift there, 60GT is going to be playing the occupation game a little bit more. But just keying in on the skills too, one thing that I'm curious about going forward is we keep seeing Desert Storm used a lot, and even in the last Osiris League this past season 9, 60MX was a team that kind of used that rather frequently, even around structures too. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to use Desert Storm and how that's going to continue to play a factor within this Grand Prix run.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point here. So Desert Storm does a bunch of damage, and people initially thought, well, the real benefit is that when marches take that damage, they're removed from stealth. So this is a sort of counter to sneaky tactics, but now it's being used as sort of like an upfront damage dealer to folks before a mid fight. And it turns out that when, a whole bunch of marches have a whole lot less health, it does make a difference for the mid fight and contesting an arc. And the total picture of skills here seems to be across many teams aligned around either energetic or stocking up, time warp, using no mark, to the death, dust up, and as we're talking about, Desert Storm. So ideally, they're popping some of those big skills, to the death, no mark, time warping to do it all over again. And that gives them 2 major point pushes with buildings and 2 major point pushes with arcs.
Yep.
Super powerful configuration. And we're actually able to jump into the match now. So let's jump in here, and I'm going to invite the chat to call out what you think the scoreboard differential is going to be. In other words, how close is this game going to be? How many points? Let's jump in the match, and let's talk about it a little more. All right, here we are. Everybody's getting ready for action. 2 minutes 41 until the match begins here. We're watching GT port in. Almost certainly, they've got a very specific order for how they do that. Chat, what are your thoughts for how close this game's going to be? How many thousands of points? Dirty Dan, what do you think? Let's start with, is this going to be a more than 5,000 point game or a less than 5,000 point game?
I'm going to call this less than 5,000 points. I think it's going to come down to 1 arc.
Wow. So close. This, you think, is going to be a close game?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're getting into this round 3. I mean, after this round, these teams are going to have off 1, 2, 3 weeks. So there's a good amount on the line right here. And you are seeing kind of the best of the best. I think that both teams are going to bring their best today, and it's going to be super close.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. Well, gosh, if I go with what the Oryx indicate, this is going to be a more than 5,000 point game, and it would favor GT. True. But the thing is that in the history of this game, How often is there an upset in those Auric placements? Pretty darn frequently. So it's like, it's very common. So, I'm going to go with the way the Aurics have been placed, the way the chips have been placed on the table, and say that would indicate to me this should be a more than 5,000 point game in GT's favor. With that said, I do kind of agree with your sentiment that, like, yeah, but Chisco, we're like kind of far into the tournament at this point, and everybody's pretty darn good, and we're in the upper bracket. So wins are wins, but they're probably going to be really close in terms of total points.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think one thing to look out for in this match too, as we're kind of talking about like point margins and stuff like that is, and I started touching on it in our pre-match. 60GT has done something really quite interesting where they've been this really mid-arc focused dominant team, which is they are the highest occupation average out of all teams, according to our notes here. 60GT is. So a huge paradigm shift. That's why I'm saying, like, I think it's going to come down to one arc, right? I think we see a lot of these really good occupation focused teams where it just comes down to stealing one arc and then boom, you got it, So I think it's really going to come down to it.
Well, here we go.
And some provisions
the truth will be revealed momentarily over the course of the next 56 minutes and 51 seconds. We'll see Sentry going down right in front. 62M1 trying to get a sense of, okay, which way are you going? Do you think there's that much information to be gained there? They mirrored. It's mirrored. Both teams actually think this is the way to place your first Sentry. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I think you definitely want to get one out there, and then you want to get one out probably in between your Shrine of War and Sky Altar, depending on what side you're looking at, or your Desert Altar and Sky Altar, just to get a gauge on how many troops are going to one side, and then you have to go into the micro level and figure out, are they going to go heavy on the Desert Altar, or are they going to go to the Sky Altar on the outside lane? So we saw this last season in Grand Prix where the Chinese server team started kind of doing this, and everyone's kind of picked up on it, and it's kind of the first play that you make in these matches with your sentries.
Interesting. So we place them right up front, and then presumably once we have a sense of which way they're going, or might be sending more to, you drop another sentry to see, okay, where exactly are you going? Would that be what you do? We see that 62M1 has dropped their next sentry. That is by the Obelisk, Shrine of Life, and Desert Altar. Sort of in the middle of that, but close to the Shrine of Life. So I think they're trying to peek and attack to the Sky Altar, right?
Yes, yeah. They want to kind of figure out if they can overload that side a little bit more. So yeah, it's a kind of classic standard opening from what I'm seeing so far. The one thing that I'll point out is that 60GT is instantly provisioning. I feel like we usually wait a little while until we see provisions start to go out, but they're going at it like right from the get-go, and this is kind of like a paradigm shift in like the style of the old GT that we're used to facing, and even 62M1 is kind of going out and going after for some provisions right off the bat here.
I see that they've got several provisioners out, and there they are, even getting scouted. Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, that's quite a tactic. So, and they're stocking up. So they use the sentry to get vision of the marches. Then they scout to have the scout trail even when the march leaves vision. And then
So like
the person who goes to hunt the marches in the back line knows exactly where the gatherers are. Is that what they just did?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that way you have those coordinates saved essentially in your tails. Next level stuff right there.
Yeah, that's some micro optimization, but this is really kind of what I want to see at this tier of play. This is the global championship, gosh darn it. I want the best of the best, and I want them to bring out that fight for every edge you can get aspect of gameplay, and I love to see that. So where are they going, Dan? Where it feels to me pretty symmetric.
It does look symmetric, but rather different openings, I would say. Like if I'm looking at this bottom side and they were kind of all balled up in one spot. Now they're starting to split off a bit here, but even 60 GT's positioning is a little bit more outside than I'm used to. And then on the top side too, it seems that they're posturing up a little bit differently here, maybe to give each other some different looks. But it does look like both teams have scouted each other out, because you can see how they are very symmetrical, even in those initial kind of group ups. And now that as they're splitting off, you can tell that both of these teams have done their homework against each other.
Yeah, they kind of collected, split around the mountains. In both lanes, and kind of have picked directions here. So it looks like we'll get a tussle at all the altars rather than seeing the teams kind of lock in on just the desert altar, which I feel like that kind of used to be the meta. Also interesting to see fighting going on in the very middle of the map. What is the role of that fighting, do you think, in the middle of the map? Like, people used to not commit any marches through the middle, but now everybody seems to do it. What's that about?
I would say those are probably some of the outpost players that are, in charge of, harassing the outposts and potentially the farmers too of the enemy team. And then they just happened to collide and said, why not? Let's just kind of throw down here. And they probably do need to do so they can get back, kill off their troops and then get back for the first mid rotations. Yeah,
that checks out. I mean, what they want to do is, I assume, like, win that fight so that then they can continue on and disrupt the back line. Like, I think rather than just like pass by each other and wave, oh, hey, see you later, right? Like, and both disrupt each other. Like, you want to win that fight and then get to their back line and do some disruption. Because theoretically, you don't need that many troops, do you? To like disrupt the gatherers.
Oh, no. So yeah, you need like one or two good ones. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Shrine of War. Currently red. YSS in that garrison. GT in blue. 62M1 in red. Opening structure volley here, looking like it's favoring 62M1. Now, can they hold them is a different question. This one just flipped back to blue. The GT reclaims Shrine of Life, or rather Shrine of War. But Shrine of Life up here, I mean, they've got some time, but it would be pretty handy for 62M1 to have the extra march speed and health going into the mid-fight.
Yeah, 100%. We saw last Grand Prix that the Chinese server teams do like to prioritize those Shrine of Lives right before Arc fights to give you those extra stats that you just kind of mentioned. And then also too, what that does is that kind of alleviates the pressure that you're going to have to come and take on an extra attack, because 60 GT now has to worry about going and take back that Shrine of Life with some of their assets. So they're not going to really have to worry too much about an all-out assault on one of their altars right before a mid-arc fight.
Only thing really still in contention is the Sky Altar, but that's fizzling. So I sort of zoomed out the map just to give you a peek into my brain and what I'm thinking here as I zoom out and just sort of stare at this. I zoom out and it's like, okay, so where's the action? And there wasn't really a lot, although there is now a party on its way to the Desert Altar. So that raiding party about to do some work with the Attila rally. Attila Subutai is a powerful choice here. Difficult to swarm and has plenty of damage. Here we go. Era Captain.
Very good rotation there. 5 minutes before first mid-arc fight. This would be huge if 62 M1 can take this altar right before teams start gathering for mid.
They are trying to swarm the rally, so that's going to be a little bit costly in terms of troop count. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it seems to be doing the job. The garrison's about half. There are a lot of people now from 62M1 looking to swarm on this garrison. Hera YSS Hollow Square, quite popular. It's got a little extra twist against skill damage. Swarmers here might actually be enough, but not before first capture will flip GT in just a couple seconds here. You know, if they'd been able to pull off this same attack a little bit sooner, they might have been able to stop the cap, but it looks like GT probably will end up holding this anyways.
Yeah, I think
it's
GT gets
close.
successful defense.
It's
they're going to hold
close.
this here And they got the first occupation point, which I think is the main thing that they're worried about. I will note that I was rewatching their match last week from against GY16. I would maybe expect a fake out and a sack on this first arc. They did so last week, where they gathered some in the middle, and then they kind of pulled off and ran up the side on one of the walls, and they went for the no mark play, which was successful. They were able to take a 4 altar swing, both altars from GY16. So that play might be at hand here for 60GT again.
I think we can kind of see that visually represented too,
Yes.
how they're not really meeting in the middle of the canyon lane. Like you can see, like they're
right
got
on the outsides. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, 62M1 is kind of right to the center, and that's what you do when you're gonna go for the arc. They've split up here. Now there is reason to split up, and I think a part of the advantage of a sort of trio of positions is that Desert Storm can't just one-shot the max number of marches, which I think in and of itself is strategically advantageous. And I sort of commented that a couple weeks ago, where it's like, you know, everybody keeps using Desert Storm. I wonder why all the teams keep doing the courtesy of stacking up to make that so effective. Now, Desert Storm does have a limit. I believe it's 30 marches that can get hit. So, you know, probably wherever you put it, you're getting the full 30. But I think the split up is a compelling play. And even like a line would be interesting. There's Dust Up. So GT uses Dust Up. Total Vision for 62M1. So we've already got some different skills being deployed here by these two teams.
Interesting. I think this is because, again, I think 62M1 has done their homework. GT did the same thing against GY16 last week, casting the Dust Up to kind of limit their vision and not get a full scope of what's in the middle. And you can see that trail of marches up top on the upper lane by the Desert Altar. Those marches now starting to march up. They are going to go for a no mark play. 60
Yeah,
GT is.
they're rotating out 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And 62M is catching it as well.
It's worth noting, GT didn't use energetic or stocking up.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Huh.
Right? So either they've got some other play that requires them to have that skill on the bar, or they withheld from using it. And I don't think you would withhold from using either of those.
No.
I suppose the other options they could have forgotten, but that feels like the most unlikely.
Yeah, at this stage, for sure. I don't think I've seen a match in I don't know how long where someone hasn't used either energetic or stocking up. This is really
Unusual. Yes, it's
I'm
very,
curious.
very unusual. I think you're bang on that they're going for the no mark play. They've got a token amount of marches in the middle. And there's Desert Storm? Wow. I mean, that has to be one of the best possible outcomes for GT here. The Desert Storm, like 10 marches. Right? Like, these guys didn't need to use Desert Storm to win their arc. That is for sure a miss to have used that ability that way. No doubt about it. That is a for sure miss. And GT has got to just be feeling really good about having baited out 7 total points, which are not going to be used very effectively.
I'm curious why 62M1 didn't just hold on to that and just no mark in response to the GT no mark that's going to be coming up. Like they would need to replenish a little bit of points, but there was at some point where they would be able to kind of counteract, and there would be some overlapping of those no marks, as we can see the GTs coming in. Yeah,
I completely agree. There's the no mark. I think that they got outplayed in that moment. And that's going to be major, right? Like, you are so correct that if they could have just mirrored the no mark and got the arc, they're winning the game. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a little bit of a panic moment, and I think they did the right thing there too, where they did split off. They sniffed out the no mark play was coming. I don't think 62M allocated enough resources. I think they still had a little bit too much in the middle, but they could have just waited that thing out and got no mark at some point. But now they're gonna have to wait so long to get those 6 points back, and that might prove to be a vital mistake for them in this match.
I agree. Oh my goodness. This is a major moment. The middle march is now rotating to the desert altar, GT adjusting position to receive them. While we're here, by the way, it is worth mentioning that there are polls that you can fill out on the official Rise of Kingdoms Discord, where you can predict who will win. Members can chat in the server to earn points and use those points to place bets. Points can be redeemed for a variety of prizes, including an Artemisia body pillow, which is kind of hilarious. And when we switch to show, when we switch between matches, I'll show you what that body pillow looks like. And during the Grand Prix, anyone who places bets on the winning pool will enter a draw for extra in-game prizes, including 1,000 gems, some 15-hour training speeds, some 8-hour speed-ups, level 6 tomes of knowledge, to commemorate how smart you are in predicting the winner. So be sure to go to the official Rise of Kingdoms Discord, which should be linked in this video, and participate in the polls there to earn some sweet prizes.
Very well said. Very well said.
I mean, Dirty Dan, do you not have an Artemisia body pillow?
I do not. I am quite jealous. I'm quite
there
jealous.
it is. You got to participate.
I got to
Earn
participate.
yourself a body
yes.
pillow. Here comes the rally on the desert altar. QSH. Honestly, just slam those new archers together. The archer rally and the archer fielder. And, you know, look, USH is doing a lot of AoE damage. Like, if you don't swarm that, you're just getting cooked by it.
It's tricky. It's tricky. So I was participating in the Grand Prix with 93X, and we were playing around with these combos. It's almost like a supreme anti-swarm. Like, if you get near that thing, it wrecks your open field, but it does not do a lot of damage to the structures, obviously, because a lot of his kit doesn't go towards that. But if you get next to that thing, it starts to shred you from the AoE, as we can kind of start to see a little bit here. So it's like a supreme anti-swarm of sorts. It's a very, very interesting combo. It's very niche, but we can see it having some effect here with 462 M1.
Yeah. I will say this GT garrison is still holding, which for the sake of no mark is quite meaningful. 923 points per minute is going to offset that arc real quickly, which has not been scored yet, for what it's worth. So we will still see a surge of points for 62M1. And 62M1 has done a good job of mitigating a little bit the damage of that no mark by going and getting the desert altar in the top lane. So that definitely is a big play for them, as you know, they attempt to recover their own altars but are not quite close to getting their sky altar back. It's almost like they did a little trade there, which is fine. It's going to slow down the point gain overall, which I think is good for them. Like, they want as many points as possible to be arcs. I mean, I don't know, do you think they're going to score this arc soon, or are they holding this?
I would like to see them score it, because I mean, again, if they've done their homework, they know that GT is going to go in and just try. I think GT actually did back-to-back no marks. So on their next arc, they'll time warp and then go into another no mark. And then we'll probably potentially look for it to the death, and they can obviously alter that. It could be to the death on the second arc and then another no mark. But I think no mark on second arc is more ideal because it gives you more time. So I think 62M1 like needs to think about scoring this arc. I know they're a little bit down on skill points right now, which definitely isn't in their favor. But if you think GT's not going to go hard on these mids, you might as well go and try and score these arcs.
I would have agreed with you until I realized that as I was announcing the amazing prizes that can be earned in the official Rise of Kingdoms Discord in the polls section, which everybody should go check out, I realized I missed the cast of No Mark by 62M1.
Yeah.
So because they cast that, now I think they're on Team Hold the Arc. Because you called it out, like, yeah, they're low on ability points. And I think that they're going to try to recuperate those. Especially, it's kind of weird if GT doesn't have energetic or stocking up on the bar. Should they try to wait and recuperate, or
Actually,
should they just rush?
That's such a good point. And they have stocking up too. And we know that like they're going to be provisioning a little bit. So like they have a way to catch up in this point generation. It still blows my mind that GT has not used energetic. Like I'm what is on the bar that they took off energetic for? It's literally like the most used skill of any Arc team. And they haven't used it at all. It's not on the bar from what we know. So like I'm so curious to see what is in place of energetic here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And my, commentary on skills and the rebalancing of those skills with each season is that certain skills feel kind of mandatory, and either energetic or stocking up does feel kind of mandatory. Now you have options, which is really cool. So I don't think it's necessary that they adjust them so they're not too powerful.
Agreed.
I think you have choices. It's not so strong that you don't have any choices. And I think that GT choosing to not use it at all is the choice that I expected the least, right? Like, I would have really anticipated either of those to be on the bar. But if they're getting wins without either of them on the bar, then they really are quite balanced as skills to choose, which you love to see. Swarms in on this Sky Altar by 62M1. It's getting low, but jumping back up. Good refills coming in clutch here.
Good micros from GT on those fills, march swapping, all that. Because it was looking a little finicky there for a second. They got some good reinforcements in because it was a healthy-ish swarm.
Yeah, this is looking like a really good hold by GT. Very impressive. Garrison got low, but they were able to keep it, which in a tournament of this caliber is kind of what you would expect in a best case, that the team can, push you really hard when you're defending, but you're able to just hang on long enough to get those reigns. So GT in a really nice spot there for holding on to that altar and keeping the points per minute high.
That's a little interesting play from GT. I like this approach here where they're going to position for their Sky Altar Assault on the outside lane, and they just said, hey, recall, rotate back, and help us with this defense here. I feel like that was one thing on the team that I was on. We got so stuck at times of just going forward that we didn't rotate back to properly enough to get a defense. And here they're kind of tapping in and then now going to take care of the rotations from 62M1 coming on there too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue with their not pushing in to hit the sky is that left a lane of attack for 62M1 to take this Shrine of Life. So that callback, while perhaps it will work out in the long run, did cost them a lane of attack, and 62 capitalized on that lane of attack, and now they hold the altar. This is a close game. The points per minute are even in the favor of 62M1 right now. So this is really weird for GT. And they still are holding on to the points on their ability bar, which makes me feel like either they're capping out on points, which is really good for 62, or they are almost full. And they're going to have to do something soon, or they're just going to let those points rot.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely have to do something soon. 5 minutes until 62M1 has to cash this arc. And yeah, I feel like 62M1 kind of has to be rejoicing a little bit here with GT starting to get into that realm of capping out on points, because it kind of does a few things. It kind of makes that Desert Storm play and the little bit of a later no mark kind of be, not as punishing on them. And I mean, when you just look at the score, there's only a 200-point difference while they have the arc in hand. So I mean, this thing is like a 3,000-point true score in favor of 62M1. So they are like relatively in the driver's seat right here, and they can force GT to kind of sit on some points or just use some skills blindly here.
This is pretty wild. This is looking incredibly close, and quite frankly, they're stocking up. For 62, being largely kind of an underdog here. They're looking very good. Okay, now they score the Ark. GT now using stocking up.
Ooh, okay. Good read.
Well, why would they have not used stocking up before? They just forget? No way, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I mean, it's possible, but it's really like not what I would assume at this caliber of play, right? Like, I mean, maybe they just are kind of excited. And,
yeah,
whoopsies, forgot.
I don't know. We'll have to see on how many provision points actually come in for them and see like how much value they are going to get out of that stocking up. Because I mean, if they're able to dunk a lot of points here going into the mid fight, but then again, they're already pretty capped on points. So maybe it was a situation where like, again, they just needed to kind of go in and use a skill, and they didn't want to use one of those skills that they could utilize like fully for a mid arc fight. It's really interesting skill usage here.
All right. Well, we get to look around and try to find where the action is. Now, I'm actually going to zoom all the way out here. So, you know, there's some attacks going on, but none of them I think will lead to the structures exchanging hands. Pressure's in on this Sky Altar, but there's enough GT here that it's probably fine. Rally's on its way unassisted toward the Shrine of Life, so it's sort of like a keep them honest rally. And then meanwhile, you've got the AoE 62 rally coming in with QSH. That should do some pretty big damage to all these armies that are kind of softened up once they can get their skill cycles going.
Yeah, interesting to see these QSH rallies continue to go. Kind of a question, not questioning, but I'm curious of the thought process here. You really do soften up the open field. Their open field support for 62 M1 isn't going to be enough that they're going to be able to flip this Sky Altar, especially with the rotations coming in for 60 GT, but it is going to be able to punish some of the open field of 60 GT a bit. So yeah, I'd really like to pick the brains of the coordinators here and just figure out why they decide to go with the QSH rallies when they do.
Well, in this case, it is doing some pretty good work. The GT, to your point, is right here on their way back to reinforce, so they're looking pretty cozy at this moment. Yeah, they're the swap outs. The garrison jumping down and then back up as people get out with a low health march, get in with a healthy one. And you only need 3 or 4 of those before this assault starts to look pretty futile.
Yeah, and even at this point too, with the QSH rally, I would probably honestly just leave it, just pull off and just let that thing kind of die slowly on its own, or force them to cancel.
Well, here comes an assault from 62. Yet again on the Desert Altar.
A lot of attacks from 62. I don't feel like we've seen as many attacks from 60 GT, which is curious, especially considering that they've kind of flipped the script and become a little bit more of an occupation-focused team.
I don't know what GT's up to here. The map is even. Do you think they're setting up for like a big arc play this round?
They would have to, I guess. Like, this one's pretty big. Like, and again, they kind of have the choice. They're definitely full on skill. So, do they run it in and go to the death, get the arc, and then try to cash it again, and then maybe on third arc they go for the no mark. Maybe they go for a master strategist. Like, I'm honestly not sure. It's very interesting just based on the skill usage that they've used. It's just kind of, I think, having everyone guessing a little bit. If they got us guessing, then I can only imagine what they're doing to 62 M1 over there.
Well, if we zoom out, we've got 345 till the arc fight. We can see there's just a lot of GT presence going to middle, which hilariously is visible to 62. They've got vision on them here. They kind of know, hanging out to the side here, they're up to something. It is really fascinating that GT had such a good bait onto the skills. They got used, but still they don't have the point lead. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like GT's down by 2,500 points. Giving the Ark was expensive, and they weren't able to recoup that.
Yeah. I think it's a credit to 62 sniffing out that no mark and kind of sacking the mid. Like, again, I still think that they kept a little bit too much in the middle, but what I think doesn't matter because they're still up on points. So they're able to mitigate that first sack of 60 GT and the no mark enough that they now have this lead after cashing in that first arc.
Mm-hmm. Well. We're waiting for this mid fight now. We're just watching where all the marches are going. There's not really a lot of action at the structures.
Yeah, looks like GT's
There's dust up
posturing
and total vision.
Same,
Both teams are kind of running it back.
Yep, exactly the same.
Weird. It's too early for time warp. Like GT, there's no way GT. There's a time warp no mark with how this is going.
Yeah.
Like they're in the position of something has to change. And 62M1 is in the position of if everything stays the same, this is going great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
So GT
100%.
has to operate differently. So I think they have to go for this arc.
I think one thing that's curious too, Chiz, is like they use that stocking up skill. I'm looking at their provision points now. Like they didn't really cash in much. They only brought in 1,100 or so since using stocking up. So like, again, like I don't know how much value they got out of using that skill so late, especially with their point bar already kind of being capped out at that point. And we can see them now starting to converge into the middle. I think they are going to make a play on this arc. I think they're reading your mind. They're watching the stream, even though they're ahead of us. But
Yeah.
but
We are 5 minutes behind the live action chat for those wondering.
Gosh. They do have to. They do realize. I think they have to make a move here.
So there's the Desert Storm. So this signals to me this time around, GT is going for it. 62M1 mirroring that play. There is more than 30 marches in here taking damage, because we can see there's plenty of marches that did not take any damage once they stepped into that damage radius. So both teams eating full damage from the Desert Storm. That leaves each team presumably with 7 points a pop. However, GT used Dust Up. They might have 5 or 6. And the 62M1 used Total Vision. They would have less. Huh? Enough for to the death.
Oof, there you go. Huh. This is big here. This is big for 62.
Using one?
Oh my goodness.
Who's managing this skill bar for GT? Time Warp. No mark.
Huh. They only have their home structures here, and all their marches were in the middle. So it's not like they're making a play on those structures 62, and now they're getting cleared. And 62 with the pull on the arc. And clear control in the middle. What is going on?
GT is playing a different game, and I don't know what that game is yet.
Like, I mean, we're looking now, if 62 keeps this arc, we're looking at true score of 25 to 25k to 18.5, like 7,000 point difference with 24 minutes left, and GT just used their time warp and no mark. They do have an altar. They do have an altar, actually.
They're able to get the altar, so they have 3 buildings now. I'm just kind of confused about the ability point management because we know from spectating other teams that when done correctly, they could have just as many no marks and a bunch of to the deaths that they could have been using here.
Yeah.
So it's a little confusing as to what they're up to.
Yeah, I think you can get like 12, at least 12. I don't know if it's 14. That might be pushing it. But I know you can get at least 12 if you play the stocking up right. But again, I think that they used it a little bit too early.
Chad is pointing out to me there's an obelisk cap here that we need to pay attention to. But that obelisk is going to flip.
I think that's important in the aspect that it would get the last of the 62 players up. I don't think it would have too much of an impact on, you know, their cities teleporting onto that GT area. It's the accounts are too large to really make too much of a difference.
I feel like GT, I mean, if they went for an obelisk, which I do see it's flipping back over, you just kind of wonder, like, they don't need to do what's cute. They just need to do what's good.
Yeah. They
right?
did try last week against GY16. As I was rewatching, they were actually 2 seconds away from getting it. It was during the first mid-arc fight, too. They were not like they needed it because they won anyway, but they were very close to getting the op on the first mid.
Well,
but an ob isn't going to help them here. Like they need to. They're doing what they need to do, though. It's exactly what they need to. They need to keep and hold these altars, especially while I think no mark actually might be done.
You're right.
Yeah.
They have to do this for a long time, though.
Yes.
So if their advantage is about 800 points per minute, I mean, they'll be in the driver's seat if they do this for at least 7 minutes. But that's a really, 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 really long time for 4 altars.
Oh, yeah.
More shenanigans at the obelisks. Kind of funny.
And 62 just took back their desert altar. So there's one take back that's already going to kind of hinder GT.
You know, I've always kind of been a fan of the big dumb smash in the middle. You know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
oh,
and
yeah.
I say
it's,
big
it's
dumb
so exciting.
jokingly. Yeah.
Yes.
But because, you know, for a long time, for those of us that have been around since the very beginning here, right? The Ark strategy for a disorganized team is like, all right, when the Ark comes, everybody go to the middle. And like,
Yep.
It's simple, but it works. And so for a team like GT that actually has skill to play the micro of a mid fight very intentionally, I would think they just would like really want to force the issue for those mid fights and try to control the Ark. So this whole strategy of going buildings and not a single to the death is a little confusing to me.
Yeah.
What do you think is the final skill on the bar? Is it to the death? I mean, historically it has been.
Yeah. I mean, you would think that it has to be, but I mean, the way that this match is played out, I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe like it's got to be to the death, or it has to be master strategist. I would assume.
Let's assume it's to the
be
death. Let's assume it's to the death, which I think it is.
Yes.
So here's what GT does for the rest of the match, and this is their path to win. And then we'll talk about 62's path to win. But GT needs to hold these 3 altars and not lose them for like the next 7 minutes. Honestly. They need to keep doing that so that they can almost even up the scoreboard, but they'll still be down when this arc gets scored. And then there will be one final arc. And then they're going to go for that arc, and they're going to have to use to the death, win the arc, and score it. That's the task ahead of them. Meanwhile, 62M1 is probably running a sufficient enough economy that they will time warp a no mark and still have enough in the tank to use to the death again in the next mid fight. You see what I'm suggesting?
Sound strategy.
So this is going to be really tough for GT. Like, they have to just outplay the mid fight. And they still have to do really good in these buildings right now, which, like, I mean, they kind of are, but Kinda not.
Yeah. Again, it's such a shift of what we're used to seeing, and like to your point of like the big dumb mid fights, like that was the meta for so long too, right? Like we've kind of like, there were always teams that kind of like, oh, they play a little bit more occupation game, but I think last Grand Prix was really like the revelation of like, hey, you can win with, back then it was structures and farming. Now with the addition of no mark, like you can win straight up an occupation battle, and maybe sneak in an arc or delay an arc that they don't cash it. And for the longest time, GT was kind of known as like, don't go into the mid fights expecting that you're going to beat GT, because they're going to out micro you. They were just way too good in those mid fights. And it's very interesting to see that they've kind of deviated from a strategy that had so much success over so long, and now shifting to this occupation game. And yeah, I mean, you add that along with like the interesting, skill usage. It just draws a lot of questions. And I mean, this thing's not over yet. We can't count them out. It's 62 does have the arc. There is going to be one more. There's about 11 minutes left in the match when the next arc is going to spawn. So, this thing is going to come down to it, 100%.
62M1, I will argue, is really well positioned to win this match. They have everything they need. Up until this moment, they have actually, I think, everything they need. They've gotten the arcs. Mm-hmm. They've got control of the timing of the next one. They can time warp their no mark end to the death when it's just right for them. Like, they are so chilling. And I'm not saying like, oh yeah, 20,000 point win for 62. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's going to be close, but unless something changes here, GT is in real trouble.
I agree. And it's always easier to kind of like play that defense, right? Like you just shell up, like, hey, like we're not going to like super push onto like enemy structures. Like we're just going to focus on like filling. You start to pull resources from your outer lanes. If you're like in this case, you start to pull resources from your inner lane and bring it to your sky altar, so you reinforce a little bit more and you hold on to your structures. So yeah, I think all signs right now is that 62 is definitely in the driver's seat against 60 GT, and it's all gonna come down to this last arc.
Well,
I like the fact that 62 has the option, right? Like you were saying, like they have the option where they can time warp into it to the death, or they can time warp into a no mark, right? Like that's what is like the most, like the strongest thing for their case right now is that, and I always love that you would kind of like call this out during like Osiris casting, is like you want to be the one posing the questions to your opponent. When you offer them more questions that they have to answer, that puts you in a very good position.
It is good to be the one with the questions, because your opponent may not have the answer. And I think the challenge for GT now is that they have to get the next arc. Like they have to. They have to get the arc, which means 62 knows exactly what GT is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's powerful information.
Yeah.
Whereas we don't really know what... Oh, there's time warp. There it is. Okay, well, now we do. Now we do know.
Oh.
There's no mark. Yeah, they're going for the sure thing.
Okay.
They're going for the sure thing. They want the arc worth of points from no mark. This is spicy. This is going to be like a 1,000 or 2,000 point game potentially. Could be really close. It all depends on who gets the arc and how these buildings play out. So this game has turned into something pretty hype, something pretty close.
Curious. I don't know if I would have liked to see them hold on to that a little bit longer. I don't know, Chiz, what are your thoughts?
The time warp?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're just cashing in the points, it seems.
Oh, true.
They're
Yeah.
just, I get right. Like, I guess that's what they're up to. They're just like, yeah, we just cash it in.
Yeah.
So for the next 300 seconds, your team captures buildings 16 seconds faster, and your team gains points from occupying buildings 30% faster. In addition, allied troops deal 20% more damage when attacking buildings and take 20% less damage when garrisoning buildings. So, you know, it gives them a little stability in a worst case.
Yeah, and it kind of takes away that win condition that we were talking about for GT, right? Like one of those win conditions for GT is that they needed to go and take altars, and using that no mark now makes it that much harder for GT to accomplish that.
That says either they win or they don't.
True.
That is, yeah, true. How do you argue with that? Either they win or they don't.
It's 50-50 always.
Oh man. Yeah, chat's got a lot of opinions about how this is going. It is a little bit uncertain what happens here for GT. Now I will say this is the upper bracket, right?
Yes.
So when a team loses, it's a double elimination. So nobody from this match is actually up for elimination, I believe.
Correct. Yeah.
Only in the lower bracket would we see potentially an elimination. And are we casting lower bracket? Yes, we are casting lower bracket after this.
Yes.
That's going to be 93T versus DQ39. So for the 700 of you chilling, watching this stream, even if you think, oh man, this match is decided, which obviously it isn't yet, and the most hype moments are on their way. But even if you thought that, we have another match after this, so don't go anywhere. This is the official Rise of Kingdoms channel. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And as a reminder, there is a poll in the official Rise of Kingdoms Discord where you have a chance to earn some extra prizes, including an Artemisia body pillow. I'll show you that one in just a few minutes as we bridge between games. But we've got 12 minutes until that happens. So 146 left on this arc. It's just chilling. Chat says GT is going to go for a no mark. They already used their no marks.
Yeah. Yeah. They
There's
use their
no
time mark
no
already.
marks
Yeah.
for GT. They're stocking up. And they already used their time warp. Like no path to getting that back at this point.
It's got to be to the death. The last one has to be.
It's gotta be. So they try to get 11 points of goodness out of it, maybe? Right? They dust up. They desert storm. And they wait long enough to the death. Sort of a thing.
Pretty much.
Recover.
Yeah.
Right? Like they use the dust up early enough that they recover a point by the time they're fighting to use to the death. You see what I mean?
Yep.
30 seconds. Yo, how crazy would it be if the carrier doesn't turn it in?
I was gonna say that. Don't do it. Don't cast a cursed it. Cash the arc.
Uh-oh. 20. Oh, they're moving.
Oh,
They're moving. They're
Okay,
moving.
Okay. Oof.
15 seconds. They're really cutting it close. 10 seconds. Wow. Okay.
There we go.
62. Stretching the time limit to nearly the
Yeah.
absolute maximum before casting the arc. Now commanding a 4,500 point lead. They are not just sitting pretty, but positioned to get the W. Docking up.
We'll throw out a little quick fun fact too here, Chiz, for chat, and thanks to our awesome team who got us these notes. 62 M1 has the highest provision average out of all teams. So to keep in mind as we go into these closing moments of this match, 62M1 is one of the best provisioners they are the best provisioners in this tournament so far.
Woo! Well. It is worth noting that they have already turned in 3,000 of those points. What is their highest provisioning in a match, or average provisioning in a match? Do you know? That number will be interesting to see, because I think they're halfway to goal, and I think that GT could get pretty close to matching them. I would expect these teams to do around 6,200 to 6,600 in provisions.
Very close.
In total.
Yeah, 62M1 average is 6,759.
Okay.
While 60GT is 5,886. So 900 point difference in their average provisioning scores.
Yeah. Wow. So actually what we're seeing in this scoreboard is a differential that could be retained throughout the rest of this match, which is really favorable for 62, who I would argue has executed the fundamentals very, very cleanly. The only misplay, and I would call it that I feel we saw from them, was being too aggressive with their skills for the first arc.
Yes.
And they were able to get back into position fast enough that there really wasn't that much of a punish. In fact, there was almost no punish whatsoever for having over-deployed for the first arc.
I agree. I think it's good homework from 62, knowing that GT was going to go for this kind of sacking of the first arc into a no mark. Like, that information is so vital that you eliminate almost a quarter of the match for GT and what they're trying to do to set the tempo.
You know what's really funny is that on at least one of my accounts, I went in and I put Oryx on all the underdogs.
Oh, nice.
I'm in the money. I'm in the money. Now, that said, there's still 7.5 minutes left. All right. So it's hard to say what's going to happen here. Oh, my God. This is too funny. Oh, the mysterious merchant heard me talking about money. And she was like, hey, I'm in your city now. I'm in your city now. Popping up on the overlay here. That's quite funny. Oh, the timing of the mysterious merchant. Couldn't have been more perfect there. Chat saying, I'm rich.
Still a ways to go. I do have to say, though, that GT is going to have to either have Master Strategist on their board or the fastest T1 set of double Cs that we've seen, because they're not going to have a lot of time to cap this arc and then deliver it freely, right? Their marches are going to keep getting harassed. They're going to drop it. In a best case scenario, they get the clean pull all the way to their outpost. And even then, they're still going to have, like, it's just going to be barely. It'll be with like a minute left in the match. So they need to have a lot of things happen right for them in this next mid fight.
I mean, if you put all your Oryx on 62M1 and they win here, that'd be like investing in Bitcoin in, like, I don't know, 2010, you know, like,
yeah.
Holy. Oh my goodness. Chat says I bet 15,000 on 62. Oh my gosh.
Easy clearing the shop right there. Easy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's some big brag Auric quantity. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Go.
The final tussle. What is GT's path to victory, Dan?
Keep your structures, get this arc, run like hell, and you gotta provision, and you gotta bring those provisioners in on time. Like, they need to play perfectly to close this match out, or they're gonna go to the lower bracket.
They are default losing this match unless they play perfectly. And the reason I say that is that I didn't notice. The reason that arc carrier held for every last gosh blessed second is that there's barely enough time to move this arc from the middle, from when it spawns, to a building. 2 minutes and 10 seconds is, I mean, the carrier could fall once, but 2 carriers get knocked down and that's it. It's over.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think it's 10 seconds alone just to pick up the arc, so each time that happens, it's like, I know that feeling. I've lost a Osiris League match due to that, so I do not wish that on GT here. I do not know what they are doing here. What are they doing? What is going on? What is this madness?
What skill is on their bar? What if it's not to the death? What if it is Master Strategist?
I mean, with this setup that they're doing right here, it would have to be like.
What I guess
not technically, because to the death is 30 marches, but yeah, what the heck are they doing?
I would commend GT for whatever this is, because I think if they just play the way that you'd expect them to play right now, they're going to lose for sure.
Probably,
I think they're in.
yeah.
I think they're in huge trouble. So if they've got some trick up their sleeve, now's the time. And just doing the thing that everybody expects is not going to get the result, right? Like, if they do what's expected, they'll get the expected result. And so to get an unexpected result, they're going to have to do something unexpected. And gosh bless, this just gets more and more unexpected. There's to the death, and it's cast by the Desert Altar. And Desert Storm is cast by the Desert Altar by 62.
I don't.
Anybody know what they're doing? Because
I don't know what they're doing here.
So we see that GT is kind of moving around the middle to delay the arc. Like 62M1 doesn't need to score this arc.
Yeah, this is traditionally like what you see like when teams do this in the mid, like when they start to spread out, they're going for a delay. But yeah, to your point, 62 doesn't need to score the arc. Like they're in the lead pretty comfortably
They
here.
put to the death on their mid team. That's the power of Time Warp. Is it reset the cooldown on to the death, and it reset the cooldown on no mark. This is a very confusing way for this match to end.
Yeah. It's almost like maybe, I don't even know. Like, yeah, they're going for structures. Maybe they think that they can out-provision in the end. But, I mean, you're going up against, one of the best provisioning teams in the tournament. So, I just don't know.
This is a little confusing. Like, what? I was commending the weird play because I thought they were going to, use sneaky tactics or, master strategist. But I don't know how it makes sense to not go for the arc at all.
Yeah, I'm really not sure either. Like, you kind of had to go for it there. Like, there's just no other explanation that I can possibly think of. Like, them taking that they do have a 4 altar swing here, but it's a minute left in the match. Like, there's no master strategist. They're not gonna cap this thing and magically teleport it. Like, I just don't know what the thought process was.
I mean, it could have been like, we don't have enough points to just score the arc and win anyways, so they had to do something wacky and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think
you
it
gotta
also
play for your win rather than play to not lose.
Yeah, and I think part of it's maybe not revealing their hand in a way, not revealing some potential strategies, because I think what they're gonna have to do is go in and kind of rework, because I think they've done the same strategy 2 weeks in a row, and 62 M1 did a great job of kind of doing their homework and sniffing it out. So I think GT now has a play in their playbook that they can show, but they're going to have to go in and kind of adjust that play, because now from week to week, I think it's now a little bit telegraphed, and 62 M1 is a good case of showing that, hey, we did our homework and we know that we know what you were up to.
Well, GG, well played.
Oh,
honestly, I'm a little surprised.
Those provisions came close.
But there it is.
Those provisions came really close. Oh my gosh.
Let's get a peek at this final score, and then we jump immediately into the next match. Wow, look how close the provisions were.
Ooh.
So that's why GT went buildings. 8,000 points of provisions. They almost won there.
Wow.
They almost won there. And if they had held those buildings a couple minutes longer, they actually would have won.
Gotcha. I feel like, okay, so they pulled a classic that's like what GY16 was doing to teams on the regular last Grand Prix. Full occupation, not scoring arcs, and just putting up like 7,000 to 8,000 points in provisions.
I mean, if they just had one arc in there.
Yeah.
Well, I commend them for trying a new strategy. This game was incredibly close. I think we swing back to the caster's booth now. Well, I load into our next matchup. I mean, that was not the result the Oryx, not the result the people were predicting. What are your thoughts on this, man? Like, GT down to the lower bracket. And by the way, huge congratulations to 62. Yeah. Absolute exceptional gameplay.
I agree.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, great match from them all around. I do like the approach at 60. Again, it's such a paradigm shift. Like we're kind of seeing this now with Cortex as the new lead. And I was mentioning it during our Strive casting too, where you're kind of seeing this different play style coming out of 960. And it's not just this, we're the biggest spending kingdom in the game and we're going to throw our weight around. They're taking different approaches now, which I really like. One thing I will note on this upper bracket now is 45Q in an upset against Beer leaves the upper bracket with 2 Chinese teams yet again. And all the international teams are now on the bottom bracket.
Wow. GG, well played. A bunch of unexpected results here as we jump right into the next match, which is 93T versus DQ39. These teams making it as confusing as possible by having the exact same numbers in a different order on their name. So you're from 93.
Yes.
What do we need to know about 93T, Dirty Dan? Hold up.
So
wait, let me interject.
Whoa.
Sneaky tactics, off rep by 39.
Huge.
This is big.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a testament of what 1093 is and what they offer as a team. Is they are very formidable. I mean, they were back-to-back realm champions. You have to try something different against them because they are so technically sound. I had the chance to play against them and practice against them quite a lot. And yeah, they're such a sound team. They're really good on the occupation game, and they did lose last week, unfortunately, due to just kind of losing all the arcs. So hopefully they change that up this week. But this looks like a nice little play here coming from DQ39.
Oh yeah, they are moving.
And I will say real quick, sorry, Chiz.
Yeah, you're good. 1093,
they do know how to defend against these. Now, if they know it's coming or not, but I talked to Silent about it. I did a little interview, and he said, and I quote, "I sat for about 30 minutes to an hour thinking of all the possibilities that someone can take an obelisk on us in the opening plays, and there's about 7 to 10 of them that you can do." So he has wholeheartedly thought this out, and they know how to defend against this.
Well, here it comes. Stocking up activated. The invisible marches.
Interesting.
These are completely invisible. So look at this. Look at the perspective from the blue team from 93. Like, they got nothing. They have no vision to what this is about to be. But they are there. They are ready. We switch the view to both. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Oh, no.
Here we go. AoE revealing some of the marches early, then big action at the obelisk. 93 is here for it. 93T dust up activated. They are trying to make sure they've got enough punch with the people they have to hold on to this thing. Eleanor's getting swarmed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teleports now available. And here they are. Woo! That was close.
Still not out of the woods entirely here. Still got
That was a big play.
Yeah. And
They're
against
not
these
out of the
teams,
woods, but 6, 7 cities in, they're fine.
Yeah.
They are chilling.
Teams like this, you have to go for those big plays, or at least try. It's something that's not going to, like, you know, look, they might lose first occupation, but let's be real, it's 1093, and they're such a good occupation team. Again, I practice against them all the time, and there wasn't a time that they didn't take first occupation on our building, so they're probably going to take it anyway. So you give up a first occupation in a hopes of a home run obelisk play.
Wow. That was something. 130 in the obelisk here. I mean, if they get anybody ported in, they're not going to get ported out. But minute 18, this does not look achievable.
This is also where this will kind of backfire a little bit too, is because as soon as 1093 takes this back, they're going to get more teleports quicker. It's going to quicken up the pace that they can get their cities up. So it's a play where it's like, yes, if you get it, it's huge. But I honestly, if you're going to go for those obelisk plays, I would like to see those during like first arcs. I think those are when you catch people off guard a little bit more.
I mean, as we look around the map here, we do see a lot of blue buildings. A lot of blue buildings. Like, this is a lot of first occupation points that are about to go to 93. Big pressure into the Sky Altar as well. As a reminder, on the official Rise of Kingdoms Discord server, you can go to the polls section and earn points to place bets. Points can be redeemed for a variety of prizes, including an Artemisia body pillow. And during the Grand Prix, anyone who bets on the winning pool will be entered into a draw for extra in-game prizes, including 1,000 gems, a couple 15-hour speed-ups, and 8-hour speed-ups, and some level 6 tomes of knowledge to commemorate how big brain you are for picking the winners. Well, what a start.
Yeah, interesting for sure. It's going to be tough for DQ39 to like kind of regather themselves here. You do quite dig yourself into a hole from going for a play like this. So what they have to do now is like look to stabilize, and I think they're going to have to pull what who is this team that knocked out 93T last week? 62M1. They're gonna have to look to do what 62M1 did last week and just score a bunch of arcs on 93T. So let's see if they can do that.
We shall see. Rally in on the Desert Altar in the top lane. 4:30 until first arc, so we still have some time to get in a few tussles before that arc spawns in.
See that QSH Shapur rally yet again.
And it does some damage. They get the cap. 93 all over it, though. Captain trying to get in. Getting a little beat up as they rotate a little ring around the rosy style, and now they're promoted. If you've ever tried to reinforce a garrison getting swarmed, you know what I mean. That ring around the rosy will get you every single time.
First occupation still up for grab.
It is kind of wild that there are still first occupation points, really?
Yeah.
On this Desert Altar?
Still up. Wow. Yeah.
Huh.
Especially their home. I guess because that's the one that was taking the obelisk assault, so they had to go in and clear up the obelisk first, then go take it back. So I guess that makes sense that one's a little bit delayed.
Okay. Well, that initial sneaky tactics play ended up sort of costing DQ39 a couple thousand points. And almost an arc worth of points, quite frankly. That was an expensive, not fruitful play. High risk and a big punish when it didn't work out. Now we wait at the temple. I guess we can zoom out and get a peek here. Looks like everybody's kind of converging for this mid fight. 93 has just a complete row of vision into the back line, which I really kind of like.
I do like that, actually. Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. And it's not rocket science, but it's also pretty cool to have a very clear line of vision there. As opposed to like, I sort of see a thing here and I sort of see a thing there. Like you get a very complete picture of the entire middle of DQ's backline. In fact, if I use the mechanics here to illustrate that, you can really see quite a lot. Very cool strategy to do that. Look at the visual range of the opposing team. They do also have vision here. So DQ39 for sure has vision into 93T. They know they're there. And doesn't really matter. Like they have to get the arc either way here.
Yes.
Because they're behind by an arc worth of points already. Almost an arc worth of points. This building is, I guess if it's not been first capped, 40 seconds away from that. Not crazy.
Yeah, 15 minutes in, still no first cap.
1 minute until arc spawns. 93 deciding it's time we get moving. DQ39 already in position on top of the temple. Expecting to see a to the death here. Possibly from both teams.
Yeah, especially from DQ39. I mean, they're coming out swinging with haymakers already with that opening sneaky tactics. I mean, it kind of fits in line with their strategy here. Just go all out, go as hard as you can.
There's the Desert Storm. Okay, here comes the action. Interesting, we're not seeing Desert Storm mirrored.
A little
2
bit,
seconds
yeah.
until arc. Okay, arc spawns in and then the action starts. Likely to be a DQ39 grab. To the death activated for DQ39. To the death activated for 93T. Here we go. Big tussle for this arc.
Advantage for 93T on this with the Desert Storm into the to the death. DQ39 only with to the death here. You got to think if they had skill points for another skill to use, if they would have, liked to use that there.
100%. Initially, we saw a lot of sad faces from 93. Now we're seeing a lot of sad faces from 39. It's not clear to me.
No, yeah, it's still a toss-up.
I mean, I think it's 93, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think 93 didn't bring their full assortment. They have taken DQ39's Sky Altar in the top lane, so that tells me that they didn't go all. Oh, and they just took the Desert Altar of DQ39 as well, so they didn't go all in for this arc, but they still won this, cleared this middle.
Yeah, so it turns out that an arc and 4 altars is kind of insane.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Normally,
of
you have to choose. And I think that Desert Storm was the difference maker. It allowed them to offset their numbers disadvantage by cutting down the enemy troop count.
I would love to see the numbers on Desert Storm because it's so interesting how like this random season, like Osiris League Season 9 into this Grand Prix, everyone's just like, yeah, we're going to use Desert Storm. Like teams don't even use sneaky tactics that much anymore for like the mid fights, like to kind of like fake you out, and like that's kind of what the primary reason it was for. And then I think teams are just like, oh, actually, you know what, it does like a fair amount of damage. We're just going to keep using it. So like I'd be curious to see like the numbers like on that, like how much damage it actually does. But definitely, clearly, that's what helped 93T there clear out that mid arc fight and secure the first arc.
March is swinging into this desert altar around both sides, in fact, but mostly just there to crash and get reset. I mean, if you... Oh, that's not true. I said crash and reset. They hold this thing. They're there to defend it? Oh, man. This is just weird to have the Ark and the altars.
Yeah.
Now, granted, one of them's already flipped back over. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here. By the way,
Skippy A, interesting.
Dirty Dan, I imagine you knew this already, but tomorrow on the official channel where you are now, if you subscribe, you'll also see this. There's going to be a live stream tomorrow morning. I believe it's 15 UTC for the Rise of Kingdoms anniversary. Pretty hype. Whole bunch of prizes.
Lots of goodies there.
Yeah, 3 hordes of flux scripts are getting given away for 3 different winners. A pool of 210,000 gems and a whole bunch of rock merch, including Joan and South figurines, are going to be given away. So if you haven't already subscribed, consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that stream. Tomorrow at 15 UTC, Sunday 15. All right, well...
7 years, Chiz, it's been. 7th anniversary, I think it is, right?
7 years.
That's insane.
It is insane.
That we're closing in on 10 years on playing this. It's wow, it's fascinating. Holy cow.
The time flies.
It does indeed. Holy.
I mean, if you'd have told Chess School from 7 years ago, he'd be casting on the official Rise of Kingdoms channel, I wouldn't have believed ya. And here we are.
Yep.
All right, that arc, I've spectated it enough. It's chilling. It's tucked away. 93T looking pretty good on this scoreboard.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot for DQ39 to come back here. Curious to see what they have on their board. And it's also another curious thing about like the skill usage that we're seeing now too, is a lot of teams are now opting for stocking up, getting away from this energetic. It's also fascinating how we get these like meta changes in the middle of like these grand massive tournaments. Like everyone's like, all right, we're just going to stop using energetic and let's go with stocking up now. It's better. It's like so random.
Yeah, I mean, I think energetic asks very little of you.
Yes.
And gives you a commensurate amount in return. And stocking up is asking more of you, right? And so it gives you more in return.
Yep. It's a great way to put it, actually. Yeah, it's a little bit more skill to use, a little bit better reward. And for teams like 93T, they do have a dedicated provisioner who goes out right from the get-go. He's able to average, it's my man Phil, able to average like 5,000 to 6,000 provisions a game, which is pretty neat to have a player who can just go out and just rip some caravans, you know?
Rip some caravans. Getting those reserves. Well, we zoom out. Ooh, Desert Altar is where the action is. Rallies in. How do you feel about the Hera YSS meta, this game mode?
I like it for the fact that you can kind of dump anything into it. And it definitely if you know you're going to be going up against a team that's going to put a lot of pressure on you and you need the swarm support, that's the option to pick. That's kind of where we landed at on the 93X team as we were kind of competing in Grand Prix and going through all the practices and stuff. Like Eleanor, Hera is still, I think, kind of the better option, but like if you know you're going to get a lot of pressure and swarm, like you need the extra support that Hera and YSS is going to offer. And I think the ability to just kind of like dump whatever you want in kind of helps. Although you can do that with Eleanor and Hera too. But yeah, I would say from the swarm support perspective, Hera YSS does better.
And this rally, wait, is this gonna get it? 93T kind of dancing with the devil here. Garrison's awfully low. They're not swarming it. Someone's gonna just get in there, right? Okay, yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I was like, this. But this is what Arc teams do, right? They have exactly what they need, and not much more, because much more means you misallocated, you overallocated, right?
Mm-hmm. And I gotta say, DQ39's doing a fair job here of kind of stabilizing after, you know, their sneaky tactics, you know, that you go in and you lose the arc and you kind of have to, you're scrambling a little bit here to kind of like get your feet beneath you. But I mean, they're still not out of this thing entirely. They do need to make up some ground because as that point gap starts to grow, it will start to get out of reach for them a little bit. So they got to start making some moves here and start taking some alters.
How do you feel about 93 holding the arc?
Let's see. They did use 9 points in the middle to DQ39 6. I think just based on that, I think they'll hold, and I think it plays to their play style a little bit. I think winning arcs for them is just kind of like a bonus, because they are just such a heavy occupation focused team. They always have been, even when they're in Osiris League. It's just kind of how they're shaped because they don't always have the strongest players. So they just kind of keep playing to that play style that they're good at. It's kind of like a tale of two takes where 93T just continues to do the thing that works well for them, where 60GT is now kind of in this phase of like, hey, let's try some other things and see if we can kind of branch out. So I would expect 93T here is gonna hold on to it.
So if that's the case, and I think you're right, we should see no mark anytime now, and then I think they cash it in at their convenience.
Yeah, I would
And
say
then go
now,
for the
like,
next arc, time orbit.
yeah, and like now is the best time to do it too. I mean, they have one of the alter. Oh wait.
39 gets it. They know exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So in fairness, though, this was the wrong order. So 39 is now exposed to themselves by using no mark. But that, I mean, if 93 scored the arc right now, we know that 39 is down by at least 6 points. So at best case, they have 4. I mean, they probably recover some before the next arc fight, but like, they could be fighting with less than 10. But I don't know that 93 has a productive avenue to push mid fights without to the death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they got Desert Storm, they got Dust Up, but, you know, if I was betting money, the last two things on that bar, we know what they are, right? It's no mark and it's time warp. It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fair points to make. Yeah, they're not going to have an ideal situation going into these next few mids without anything other than Desert Storm and Dust Up, which isn't the greatest combination of things. But on the other hand, DQ39 doesn't seem to have too much either. DQ39 is definitely going to have a time warp on there too, and then their last skills, who knows?
Should be a Desert Storm. That skill's really good.
See.
But you're right. Who knows? Hard to say. Let's see here. Do we have any intel on this?
Yeah, so actually, okay, so DQ39 is the only team that selected Master Strategy in both week 1 and week 2.
So they're going to have Master Strategy. That's interesting. So they have Time Warp and Master Strategy?
I actually, you know what? That's kind of that's like scary to think about. Like that you have to prep for something like that. Like you have to prep for 2 Master Strategists. Because I mean, for me at least, Master Strategist is like one of the most exciting plays in the game because it's just like, whoa,
For sure.
you can go anywhere, you know. But yeah, that's quite the strategy there if they are to pull that off, Time Warp into another Master Strategy here. 93T with the no mark too, so
They're chilling. They're just raking in those points. And they kind of ran it for the full duration for which they'd be holding the Ark, I assume. The last 300 seconds, so plenty of time. What is... Oh, man. That just AoE damage from QSH is so punishing.
yeah, I always hated being in these positions too, because it's like, you're not supposed to kill that march, but it's getting so much value just walking with you as you're not doing anything to it. It's really like one of the most frustrating things as an Ark player.
Yeah, so the reason you're not supposed to take it down is because then they can bring a fresh march back out.
Yes, correct, yeah.
But in the meantime, this thing is just literally just cooking people.
It's bringing them down to half health. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Dude. I think they should have sad faced the darn thing.
I probably would have. I get to a point where I'm just like, I can't take it anymore, and I just turn.
QSH is too good. You can't let that do that.
Yeah.
This is the best march in the game. Not by a little, but by so much. QSH Zhuge Liang, #1 march in Rise of Kingdoms, for sure. Oh my gosh. 93 going to swarm the rally. I will point out that the QSH march we were watching earlier is playing a little ring around the rosy, but it's still here. Oh my goodness.
Good
It's the
defense from
highest
93.
damage, most durable march the game has ever sent us. It's still here. Okay, finally it got sad face.
Love to see that report.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, oh, that was like a 3,000% positive report. Okay, well, 1 minute left on this arc. Pretty soon we go to Arc Watch to watch the final 30 seconds, make sure that actually gets captured. Look around here. Things are generally pretty even, although this is a big momentum swing. Sky Altar flips over. Arc Carrier.
While that no mark is active too, which hurts DQ39 a lot.
Okay, Arc is scored with 20 seconds to spare. So this is going to be another close one. This is going to be yet another close one. Now that said, 93T ahead by 10,000 points. So when I say it's going to be a close one, I mean for the third arc, if there even is the possibility of a third arc, there's not going to be a lot of time to score it. Right? Like last match, there was a 2 minute and 10 second window. This game, there may not even be a window.
Yeah, if 93T gets that next arc, DQ39's got to think maybe kiss their Grand Prix hopes goodbye, because 93T is just going to bleed it out. Like that's just what they're known for doing. They'll it's like you know, those really defensive teams in sports that no one really likes watching, but you got to respect it because it's such a sound strategy that it works. Like it's not the most exciting thing, but it works and it gets W's and it gets championships, you know? So, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It ain't broke, don't fix it. 93T. Rally in on the Sky Altar. It's interesting to see these Cav rallies against the Harrow ISS. And a part of the reason why I feel like that hollow square gets a lot of value is that it's really good against skill damage. And if you look at the swarmers here, a lot of this is skill damage that's coming through.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, the rally is not. But even then, it has a lot of damage mitigation. I believe it's 5% damage taken reduction on the accessory in the armaments.
I think you're right.
It might be 8%, but I think that's too big. It's like, and it's one of those boosts, which is kind of like a big old multiplier in a favorable portion of the formula. So, you know, even without everything being skill damage, it's just got this incredible mitigation to it.
Yeah, that was one of the cool things, like playing in this Grand Prix. Like I would definitely encourage anyone, if you have a chance to play Grand Prix tournament, like it's so fun to theory craft with your team on like what marches are the best. Like I mean, we were so close to just running like 5 cav marches at a point, like everyone just running 5 cav marches, and we're like, oh, it's kind of like, you know, Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last. You know, we're just gonna outpace everyone to every location. So it's so fun with the theory crafting, and but at the same time almost kind of stressful because you start to overthink it a little bit. But definitely a ton of fun to go in and kind of work your setups and your teams. Your marches with your teams.
Super hype. See this unfold, but the point differential here just kind of stacking up. So to win, we need there to be 2 more arcs. The first one needs to be 39. And then the second one needs to be a master strategist yoink. Honestly, they almost are going to need 3 arcs. There's not enough time for that. There's no way.
It's almost to the point where they might even just master strategist the second arc just to score it faster if they are able to get their hands on it.
Hmm. They're going to need 6 to 7 arcs to win, chat says. Okay. Take it easy, chat. Okay. Desert Altar, red. Map overall, even. Actually, quite even. Even the back line is kind of evened up. Swarmers in. Belly Prime here is contributing a pretty major debuff.
There was also a Ethelfled Skippy A in one of those marches too. Kind of talking about some of those theory crafting marches that you work up with your teams here in Grand Prix, having access to all of the commanders, all the gear, all the armaments.
Yeah, that's definitely some tech, all right. So I guess you're trying to make the target take more damage and reduce their stats dramatically. That's why you run that composition. Uh-oh. Obelisk capture, anybody? 2 minutes till arc also. Look in the middle. We spent so long without an arc fight that I genuinely forgot that was still a thing that could happen in this game. Silent Flow, casting Dust Up. I think he's waiting out now. Maybe. To get 11 total points. Because I think what we're going to see is the Desert Storm. And then we're going to see Time Warp and To the Death. And at that point, they get this arc, it's over. Unless there is just the most insane Master Strategist shenanigans of all time.
Yeah.
Which I am so here for.
Absolutely.
This is what I want to happen. Yep, this is so predictable. So there's Desert Storm. Whoa, stocking up is bold. So is somebody about to turn in provisions? Oh, I guess so. Okay. Well, well, well. There's the Time Warp. And it's going to be To the Death. With a minute to spare as well. Yeah, the Tigers have cashed 2,000 points above and beyond 39. 39 activating their Desert Storm. Activating their Time Warp.
No Master Strategist. Sad.
Good point. That is Savage.
Yeah. I don't know how
There's To the Death.
Like, they kind of needed a Master Strategist, I feel like.
Double Desert Storm.
Ooh. Huh.
Didn't see that one coming.
That's a little fancy there. That's a 6-point Desert Storm then, right?
6 points of Desert Storm.
Yeah.
39 and 93 used To the Death. So they're all in. I guess they really got a lot of provisions from stocking up and got a lot of points. Ooh. Well.
That's a new one that I think we're going to have to keep an eye out for. A double Desert Storm. That could be really troublesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, 20 minutes left. 93 is looking quite confidently going to be the winner.
Let's see here. Who will they... I think they're going to go back and play. If this stays as is, they are... Actually, they're going to play the winner of GY16 and 489, which was GY16. So GY16 waiting for the winner of this match, which looks like it's going to be 93T.
Who won the other matches?
Your Kingdom 2377, they beat 21YL, so they advance to face 748W
in the top bracket, right?
This is all bottom bracket for now.
That's bottom bracket, okay.
So yeah, 2377 going to face 748W. 748W taking the win against VVRS, a Chinese server team. So we had in the bottom bracket, which is nice, we knocked out 2 Chinese server teams and then 2 international teams advance. In the upper bracket, we had the obviously 60GT losing to 62M1 and 45Q beating Beer. So 60GT and Beer are now going to end up in the bottom bracket. And how those matches are going to play out, we're not sure yet. But yeah, waiting in the midst for the winner of this match, 93T and DQ39, will be the winner of last year's Grand Prix, GY16.
There's another stocking up. As the Ark slowly but surely makes its way back to the cities. Well, hold up. They can port in. 93 porting over?
Oh boy. That's like salt in the wound.
It sure is.
Oh boy.
And I think they lost it, but got it back. And in a minute 20, they can bring more? But there's no way that's going to work out.
Yeah, no shot. No shot. One player's got to hold off. Unless they don't honor it. I mean, there are players who are just marching out of their cities and just going to carry on with their daily stuff. But
well, now it's only 50 seconds left, and this is looking really likely that they're going to get it. Somebody turned around and was like, hold up, wait a minute. Gotta do something about this, but it might be too late. Like, actually, might be too late.
yeah, that's going to be a fresh QSH march in there. And we know the tankiness that guy can have.
25 seconds down to 20. I think they're gonna get it here. Okay. They just had to get it. Oy.
Well, that 93T player is going to have a little bit of fun with this last 16 minutes of the match.
Oh, yeah.
He can do whatever he
100%.
wants now.
Yeah, I mean, at 450 million power, there's enough troops to do some damage. Swarm this Eleanor. Why not?
Yeah.
That's funny. And there's nothing major going on anywhere else in the map, otherwise I'd show it. Well, as a reminder, you can go to the official Rise of Kingdoms Discord, and you'll find a hashtag polls section. In the polls section, you can earn points by chatting, and you can place bets, and points can be redeemed for a variety of prizes, including an Artemisia body pillow. And during the Grand Prix, anyone who bets on the winning pool will enter a draw for extra in-game prizes, including 1,000 gems, a couple 15-hour speed-ups, some 8-hour speed-ups, and some level 6 tomes of knowledge. Be sure to go check it out. The swarm is still on, baby. I mean, once you port here, this is like basically the only thing you can do. So...
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. I mean,
right? Like, if walk time is the enemy, I'll just do the thing that has no walk time. I'm just gonna hit this thing right outside my city. 93, activating no mark. With 9 minutes left on this carry, whenever they score this arc, they'll do it in a way so that there's really going to be no more opportunities for future arcs. So they are going to lock in a lead here. Only the building game can save DQ now. And it would have to be the best building game in the history of the game to recover from this position.
Take those buildings, literally take all buildings and hold them until the end of the match. Provision a little bit, maybe throw in... Actually, yeah, can't do another arc, so...
Well, this is pretty firmly in what I would consider to be GG territory.
Yeah. We'll be curious to see when we get these new arc adjustments, how these little boss figures, these kind of side lane, bringing this League of Legends-esque style into the fray of arc. Maybe it's a way for teams to kind of get back into matches if they're, you know, down a little bit too much from what we think. I always thought that was one of the things that could be tweaked in a way, because I feel like if you lose or you fall behind a little quickly, it is rather tough to kind of get back into a match. So it'll be really interesting to see these new adjustments that we get in Arc.
Now, either there aren't any more teleport spaces, or 93 has decided they don't want to teleport more people in.
I feel like they could fit like one or two. If VJK adjusted the city there, might be able to fit some.
But I guess they're gonna like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Okay. Chat's dropping a 93 with the sunglasses. They are chilling with a commanding 12,000 point lead. This is a pretty darn strong victory here. En route for 93. It's technically not over yet. Provisioning does favor 93. About 1,400. Decent.
Yeah, with a little bit more to go to.
Yeah. So given today's festivities, what takeaways do you think we have for your average player at home who wants to be better at Ark?
Oh, well, I'll say this, especially for these Grand Prix teams, like some of these teams are practicing like crazy.
That's a good point.
Sometimes like 3 to 4 matches a day. When I was doing 93X Grand Prix, I mean, we were doing like 2.5, but if I'm not mistaken, I think a team like 93T does upwards of 3 to 4. They'll try to squeeze in like a day. 60GT no doubt practices a lot too. I believe 93T and 60GT just practiced against each other earlier this week as well. Watching Arc matches, I can tell you that like getting the privilege to come on and be a caster and just like exposing myself to more Arc play has definitely helped my game sense. I would say, like when I'm playing in matches, like I kind of know where I need to go without my lane leaders telling me. And then like lastly is just like the big thing that we found in Grand Prix is like learning how to micro your marches is huge. Like it's honestly, commanders aside, put everything else aside, put strategy aside, put the macro strategy, learning to micro your troops and just be a good field fighter is like the most important thing in Grand Prix. Like we can't see it too much on screen because we kind of look at this like macro level and we kind of see the plays that happen. But like I'll tell you straight up, like learning to target marches and like where to fight within murder balls is the biggest thing when it comes to Grand Prix, and then it kind of translates also into Arc as well.
Ooh, that's kind of cool to hear.
And the only way that you get better at something like that is like you have to kind of play the game and you have to expose yourself to it. It's like if you're not able to play in KVKs all the time, then you have to be setting up Arc practice matches and playing in your Arcs every 2 weeks that they pop up and just trying to get as much exposure, because there is definitely very large skill gaps, and that's one of the reasons why my team got booted in the qualifiers.
So were you talking about like individual march control is what you're referring to? Like,
yeah,
you know...
yeah. So like even like if you say you're fighting at this desert altar here and 1 or 2 of your marchers get sad face, like you have to have the the ability to bring them back out while still fighting with your marches or repositioning them, and then you have to go back, select those marches that are now fresh and coming out and reposition. Then you also have to think about, do I now need to refresh those marches that were just in that last engagement who didn't sad phase? Like, there's a lot of microing that is involved within these arc matches that really, I think, makes a difference on the top tier teams. Because there could be times too, like in KVK fights, like you're kind of fighting in the same spot with all your marches all the time. But if your troops, say, have a successful attack on this desert altar and you're being called to rotate whatever marches are left, like if they're like, all right, marches at desert altar, rotate to sky altar, you have 2 marches at that sky altar, you now have at that desert altar, you now have to bring them to the sky altar, refresh your marches, bring them to the desert altar to defend them, and now you could be fighting in 2 different spots. Now you could be fighting on an assault on the enemy sky altar while you're also playing defense on another assault coming from the enemy on your desert altar. So like, it gets tricky. It gets really tricky at times, and that attack march does come in handy for sure.
You could definitely see it. Zooming out, Ark has been captured, such that there really isn't an opportunity to get another one. Not at all, by just a couple seconds. Yeah, I mean, we are closing in on a 20,000 point lead here for 93T. Very commanding victory in progress for them here.
Yeah. I think this is after taking a loss, like no matter what team you are, if it's 93 or whoever, like this is the kind of win that you want to get to kind of get that confidence back up a little bit, especially when you know that like every match is your last in this bottom bracket. So I think this is a really good win for 93T to kind of get the juices flowing again, and they're going to need it as they go into a very, very tough match next week against GY16.
So let's talk about that. So if you're in the bottom bracket, what is the best final placement you can have in the tournament? Can you win the whole thing still?
Yeah. It's a really tough road. I forget how it works once you get up to the finals, but if you make it all the way to the finals from the bottom bracket, I think you have to win like, what's this best way? I think you have to win like 4 arc matches in a row or something like that, because you have to win 2 series essentially. I think is how it works. I could be mistaken. It's a little fuzzy, but you do have to win like a lot of arc matches in a row. So you can still win it. You can still win it all, even if you're in the bottom brackets, which is, I like this. I really like this setup a lot from Lilith.
So, okay, that's interesting. So you get to the finals, right? I mean, and there has to be someone in the bottom bracket competing in the finals with the way that it's set up, I think, in the number of weeks we have.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, in the very end, it's going to be top bracket versus bottom bracket, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the winner of top bracket versus the winner of bottom bracket.
Yep.
Which would mean that, and I need to brush up on the rules, but I think, to your point, the final is a best 2 out of 3.
Yes.
And so if the top bracket team loses 2 out of 3, that counts as their first loss, and it's a double elimination tournament.
Correct.
So they'd have one more shot in the 2 out of 3 against that same team, right?
Yep.
Wow.
That's it's exhausting thinking about it. I couldn't even think about
It's a lot of winning. That is a lot of winning to do.
And that's like just on the occasion that it's like you win 2 and you go on. Like, I mean, you can play 3 matches. Like, can you imagine playing 6 matches in a span of like, I guess it would be like a day. Like 6 matches in a day is crazy to think about.
I don't think they do it in the same day.
Okay. So it'd be like one series is split up like one series per day type deal.
Yeah, I think they would push it to another week, I would guess.
Oh, true, yeah.
Because that is a lot of hours to be Yeah. Sitting down and playing. I mean, hey, now that we are not conditioned to run lots of hours in KVK and Rise of Kingdoms,
Yeah, they have us do it in KVKs anyway, so.
Yeah, and I would say the mental strain of Ark is higher probably than your average.
Yes,
Not that there isn't mental strain, but that would be an intense 6 hours.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so these bottom bracket teams not out of it entirely yet, but each week matters. They have to win or they do go home.
Yeah, they're quite literally down, but not out. They're down to the lower bracket, but not out of the tournament. Except at the end of this match, DQ39 will be down and out.
Yes.
I don't know how. There's no comeback at this point.
No,
we are locked in.
Yes, yeah. I'd say like maybe if there's like 15 minutes left, we can talk about maybe something, but that's just the flow of these matches, right? Like we know like a standard Arc match, you're gonna get, I guess like if you can go as standard as you can, you get 3 arcs. And as soon as you lose 2 of those, it's kind of out of reach in that sense most of the time. So, and then when you bring it down to a match where it's only 2 arcs, it's like the margin for error becomes that much smaller. So, really, really well played match from 93T, and also a valiant effort from DQ39 coming out swinging and kind of doing the things that they knew that they needed to do to take a W against a team that's been as dominant as 1093 in the last few years.
GG. Well played. A few announcements as this match wraps up is that being the geniuses you are, predicting winners this week, you should get some extra credit for it. Make your way to the Rise of Kingdoms official Discord server to the polls section. You can chat in the Discord server to earn points and use those points to place bets. And those points can be redeemed for a whole bunch of prizes, including the much coveted Artemisia body pillow. Hilarious. And anyone who bets on the winning pool will enter a drawing for extra in-game prizes, including 1,000 gems, 15-hour speed-ups, 8-hour speed-ups, and level 6 tomes of knowledge. 10 winners every week. Pretty hype. Plus, at the end of this stream, you'll be redirected to the anniversary live stream, which is tomorrow at 15 UTC. So you can be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the reminder on that stream to make sure you don't miss it. Anniversary live stream should be a banger. There's 3 hordes of Flux scripts being given away, a pool of 210,000 gems, and various Rise of Kingdoms merch, including the much coveted Joan and Cao Cao figurines. So be sure at the conclusion of this stream to hit the reminder bell on the anniversary cast, Sunday, 15 UTC.
Lots of goodies. I will personally be partaking in all of said events so I can have the best chance to win myself an Artemisia body pillow.
I have my own Artemisia body pillow already. I had intended to show it on stream earlier, but it's down by my side here. And so I genuinely forgot about it while I was doing the intro before the first match. But it is a quite large body pillow.
Yeah, I've seen.
It is pretty funny. 10 seconds left in the match. We know what this outcome is going to be. Appreciate everybody dropping into the stream today. Subscribe if you haven't already. Throw a like on the stream. 93T will advance to live on in the bottom bracket and vie for the top spot. GG to DQ39, who played well, but I believe at this point is out of the tournament. Thank you again, everybody, for dropping in. Dirty Dan, any thoughts as we wrap up today?
No, it's just great to get to cast with you again, Chiz, and looking forward to the rest of these Grand Prix. It's getting real spicy, and yeah, don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the anniversary stream, everyone.
Love to hear it. I'll see you all in the anniversary stream tomorrow. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.